Hello. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh!
It's been, what, about a month since we've done the last Easy Like Anime?
Yes.
But we are finally here. We're finally at the...
Thanks for waiting.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for your patience. Really appreciate it. But we made it. We're here. The finale.
Yeah, the end of Season 2. And what a ride it's been.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
And this episode felt like it just flew by so fast.
Flew by.
And you know, I don't know if you ever have this feeling when you're at the finale of a season of an anime, and you know it's only going to be like 22 to 30 minutes tops, and you can tell like we're not getting to some of the stuff I thought.
Yeah.
You're like, this is all this is gonna be.
I feel like 10, 15 minutes in, you're like, all right, this is where this is going to go.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
And I got to that point like after Bang and Bomb, fighting Garo, him being carried off, and Centipede Dude just storming in. I was like,
Yeah.
this is it. This is the conclusion. This is the big fight. We're
Right.
not seeing anything else. And interesting decision to go out like that. Going on a cliffhanger with Garo being carried off to the Orochi in the Monster Association, and the fight with is it Senti Och?
I think
What's it, chat? What's
Sentichiro.
Sentichiro?
Sentichiro, I think it is.
Sentichiro? Yeah.
Something like that, at least. Yeah, Sentichiro.
But I felt like good payoff with that though. King showing up.
That was
Like
great.
dropping the bait earlier, like
Yes.
he's doing all this because he wants a rematch with Blast. And you're
Yeah.
like, yo, we're finally gonna get to see Blast and stuff. And King
Yeah.
coming out is like, I've
King-
got him here, and I'm like,
Yep.
yo, here we go. Like this is the big twist payoff. And it's just Saitama anytime
Yeah.
now. And it's
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I thought it was one of the more enjoyable fights of the season.
Yeah, you seem to be pretty positive about some of like not just like what was going on, but like finally some of the animation in it.
They were just doing some things that kind of reminded me of season 1 things that I liked. So just the size of the fight, like we're dealing with S-class heroes.
Yeah.
They should feel powerful. They should be impressive. And I think Bang and Bomb came across really well, where it's like, okay, we're sending a shockwave across its entire body, and it was cool to zoom out and see just how big this creature was. Some of Genos' attacks against the creature were really cool, and it just felt like a more dynamic fight than some of the other things that we got, where it's like, all right, there are different phases happening. We don't know this creature's full capability. We're going inside of him. Genos gets cut in half, but he can still fight, and so it just felt like there was a lot going on with the fight, which I appreciated. The negative to that is, I think, kind of what you were alluding to in that opening there, Damiani, where it was like most of the episode felt like that fight. And the stuff with Garo and the past was cool. It was nice to get more of that context and kind of get into his brain and have a... I feel like I now have a even better understanding of where he's coming from. What I will say to follow that up is it felt like it was just kind of elaborating on things that we already knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh my god,
Yeah.
kind of a moment. And I think at the end with Saitama coming in to save the day, it was like we didn't move forward with anybody as much as I was expecting.
Yeah.
Or maybe not expecting, but hoping.
Yeah. For Garo, though, I mean, we've assumed that he's going to be like third-party wildcard, no allegiances, but I feel like this episode did kind of confirm that. You know, he's renouncing good and evil both. As he's flying away, you know, he's clearly like ticked off at this bird. So I'm totally ready for, like, this has me really excited for next season now when he meets Orochi. I think, you know, I think his allegiances are not going to be with these monsters, like, even in the slightest.
I mean, I feel like they almost explicitly say that,
Yeah.
where they're like, hey, you're going to meet Orochi, you're going to meet our big boss, and he's like, I want to beat these people with my own strength. And so I feel like they're very much alluding to how that relationship is going to play out.
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
Pumped on that.
It is, but it's also like, can I get a little bit of that? You know,
Yeah.
like, it's just...
Yeah, that would have really
Yeah.
that would have really made it feel like a finale,
Right.
Because it was
That's-
like it was the bad kind of cliffhanger where it's just like we're going to fly and see him.
Yep.
Maybe like end there. Maybe
Right.
like boom, friggin' Garo walks into the room and sees Orochi and it's like
Right.
greetings or whatever. End there on the big moment instead of just like flying away now.
Yeah, I don't think it maybe would have been as jarring if we didn't spend as much time with Garo as we did throughout the second season, but it was really his season. I feel like a good portion of the time was about him, and so it just felt like a weird stopping point.
Yeah,
And yeah,
totally.
yeah,
Yeah, that didn't feel like this episode's conclusion did not feel like the conclusion. Didn't feel like a season finale
Yeah.
episode.
Yep,
As you
yep.
said, Huber,
Yeah.
this felt more like the kind of the climax at the end of a normal episode.
Yeah.
That you expect. Oh, next week might be the finale, and I'm like, no, this is it. This is all you're getting until season 3.
Totally.
It's a little strange. I mean, I like the payoff of like finally having a large scale battle, as
Yeah,
you said.
yeah.
But at the same time, I had some of the same problems. The flashback with Garo, I thought we were getting some new insight,
Right.
and it was basically just doubling down on like screw good, screw evil. You know, I'm like fighting for the little guy here. I'm gonna like strike a blow for them.
Yeah.
And just kind of showdown between him and his mentor stuff. Like he's finally like, you know, this is not the end. What the hell are you talking about? Boom, battle interrupted. It's like, we gotta save this for later. We're gonna have to the rest of the half of the episode. He's just flying away, being hauled off. I was expecting any moment for him to like do some kind of like chi move to cut the bird's head off or something and be like, I'm going right back.
I thought he
Like,
was
get
gonna
out.
rip one of his legs off.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna snap at that point. He goes, "How dare you!" Like, no, just was at peace with it. Like, I gotta get stronger. Clearly, I'm not strong enough. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to see more of what goes on with Garo next season, but that part didn't feel totally satisfying to me in terms of this being like where we're ending with him at the end of the season. It felt a little too jarring, a little too abrupt. Like, you can obviously have him. I expected him to not succeed in whatever he was doing at the end of the season. Like, maybe in one more showdown with Saitama, or just fighting his mentors and losing that fight and realizing he gets stronger. It felt like a very little emotional payoff for me for that. And I think it's being gate-kept until next season.
Totally.
Which is
Totally.
unfortunate, but...
I did really like the bit about them ganging up on him and that he was like shocked by it and kind of like, wow, they should be ashamed of themselves. I did like that. That was an interesting line.
Yeah,
Just his perspective on it and like thinking of, them going all out. Like, we got to put you down even if we do fight a little dirty and 2-on-1. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, during that scene when they're like, "Why did you dodge? Like, that's not how this works." It seems like they're trying to play with this dynamic of like, why does the hero always have to win? Why why do events always have to happen in this exact order?
Yeah.
And that seems like something it's just frustrating because it's like, I feel like these are dynamics that Garo has already teased us with before. And this episode, I definitely feel like it was decently entertaining, and I think it was like fun watching the fights in a way that it hasn't been. So that was kind of nice. But I guess my ultimate takeaway is like, beyond the decently entertaining fights, I wasn't as invested in these characters, or it just didn't feel like, it feels like at this point the story should have me. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I can't wait for season 3, but it felt like it feels like it's just constantly teasing me in a way. And
You're
it's
right.
just like,
You're right.
I need some more payoff.
Yeah.
And like you with these characters, I feel like you need a tease, and then you need to show me something that makes me more invested. You need a tease, you need to show me something, and it's just sometimes it feels like too much tease, not enough payoff.
Totally.
With this show, and I think that like I just don't care about these characters as much as I really want to.
Couldn't agree with you anymore.
Yeah.
I agree with you the maximum amount.
Maximum agreement.
This to me, it's self-contained. This is a good episode. Again,
Yeah.
it just stinks as the finale. I mean, this could have stuck it anywhere else, and it would have been one of the strongest episodes. One of the strongest.
Like, if there was
episodes.
one more now, and the finale was a little more character progression, just like him talking to Orochi or something.
I made a point. I don't want to repeat it again, but going off of something you just talked about, Ben. Basically, I feel like the point of this episode was trying to like be the punchline of this whole Garo's flashback. Everything that the message trying to say is that we need to break away from these like the expectations of good versus evil. That heroes are good, villains are bad, and we want to like show you this like kind of break from this like dichotomy here. But I felt like through the season they already were doing that, and they did it much better already. Yeah. And this felt like such a weak punchline for that, and I just felt like that's what this is how we're going out, like for Garo this is how you're going out in this season, is like this. And it, like thinking about it more, it feels a little frustrating because I'm left wanting more, because I know there was so much good character development with him. I know there's a lot of potential, and that was, I think to me, that's why I feel a little disappointed. This is such a disappointment in terms of a finale. Like a season finale.
Yeah, I think they've just been so focused on building up and having us understand the philosophy of Garo. This is what this character is about, and like at this point, it's like I know what he's about. I get it. We need to challenge that belief or evolve it or just a more severe interaction with that philosophy than I think what we've been given so far.
And the perfect way to challenge that would have been more confrontational with Saitama.
I totally agree.
That was literally what it was pointing towards. And I thought, well, maybe we might get the first serious encounter of that, but it's going to be like a major arc and thread in season 3. We don't even get that set up at this point. I mean, obviously Saitama's one of the people he wants to take out or challenge, but we're left like better off than where we were before. Like we've not advanced that at all. And it's a little frustrating about that.
I like thinking of the idea going into season 3 now, though, with Saitama. Like Saitama just in front of everyone took this thing out. Like it feels like now there's no escaping. Like, dude, Saitama did this. Saitama is...
They think that King did it. Like, outside of Genos, King, and Saitama.
Well, did Bang and Bomb see, right?
I mean, they see him standing there, but like their facial reactions or expressions don't really indicate whether they're like, oh, we get it. There's no gotcha moment like that, I feel. But that possibility does exist. But the way we've seen how everything works, they might not just even care.
Well, we've seen...
Good job, King!
This situation was no exception from that. So I don't expect that to really be a big... I think that's going to be a running thing forever. I think even when the show or manga ends, it will still
kills
be that
the final boss,
like,
and they're just like, "Hey, King, good job." It's so
like,
true.
That was a good. But you know what? I like that about King's moment, because we know he is not strong. We know that he is viewed as a hero, and he like Saitama kind of challenged him in a way that, hey, it's cool, like we're friends, we're having a good time, but you like I think he was trying to get at with King is that you do realize you're viewed as this like really well regarded hero. Are you just cool? Like, are you cool with just having that reputation but not earning it? Like, you're just in these places. Like, I'm not gonna really judge you one way or the other. I'm just asking that question of you. And it was good to see him stand up and be like, listen, I don't have the ability to fight this thing, but like I'm not powerless to do something. Right now, it's gonna like ravage the city, and I can I know about his weakness, something that draws attention. I can still do that and stuff, and like trusting Saitama as well, like that friendship. He goes, Saitama.
Definitely,
it was
one of the emotional highlights of the episode of the season for me. You know, the slow pan up, his hand is just down, shaking at his side, like really good moment. And of course, Saitama with the save.
Did that build up? Was there any small amount of thought that maybe he really does have a power? I was like,
no, I was like, okay, it was like, cue Saitama, and boom!
You know, what I was actually hoping for, the thought that popped into my head watching that is, like, either Genos or King dying, like Saitama, like, not being able to do it, and it's like, that's how we end the season, where it's like, oh, now we have a new thing to deal with in a way that we haven't quite had to deal with before, and just kind of, like, some tragedy, I guess. I don't know.
I thought Bang was gonna go out and sacrifice, so he was ready to. I was I was nervous.
It felt like Bang could have been that. Genos could have been that. Yeah, it felt like there were multiple points for sure.
I was scared.
And I think that's one of the positive things this episode did, was like still subverting expectations like that. That's what you expect to happen. and in a good way.
See, I feel like what I expected the most was Saitama to come in. Like, I was like, this is the most likely thing that will happen.
Oh, I expected him to come in eventually. I just didn't think he was gonna step in that moment. Like it was a little abrupt. I was like, oh, he is gonna save the day, and like no one's gonna die here. I was like, oh wow, okay, that's interesting that we're going with that. But also the way they handled it, like this show, it still does a good job of having these moments of like brevity and like it's a chuckle at the very least. Like, okay, that was amusing, and as you said, like cute. Seeing like King stand up like that and stuff. Yeah, and those small moments, I think, are victories in my book for this show, and why I still have an interest in it. Yeah, and and I have a hope and faith that maybe a small bit of a good amount of faith that season 3 has some good potential there.
Definitely, it's I mean, I'm sure we'll do that at the end. I don't know when the end is coming. Yeah, but we'll the season as a whole to me was okay, but like. That's just the first notch, and now I look to the next season, and if that, goes downhill again, that'll be disappointing, but like, rough season, looking for the next one. So. Yeah.
But. There's still a lot of, we talked about this, I think, a lot throughout this season. They brought up a lot of different threads, a lot of different characters. And they're kind of left all over the place. Like, we didn't see a lot of development with most of the characters.
Just reminding you, Terrible Tornado still exists. You're gonna get your mandatory
matchups are important. That's why Tornado is not in this fight, because she would have obliterated. It's like, oh, okay, I see. That's so. And like her sister, it's like, oh. Terrible Blizzard. Gosh, I'm forgetting what's name now.
Obviously, they don't need to develop everybody to some great degree, but it's when I don't feel like anybody is being developed sufficiently. That's when I think it becomes
like what is like how big is this planet, dude? Are we even on Earth? Like where the hell is everyone? You have a giant centipede multiple times, destroying everything. Where's Tornado? Like, where are these people? I don't understand. Like, that sense of space was lacking, and that reduces the overall stakes for me, Like, that city was there, and the centipede, like, could have crashed in and destroyed everyone, but again, just because of the way the whole season is played out with spacing and stuff. I
think stakes is the perfect word for how I feel. Like, I'm just... The stakes aren't there for me.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. In multiple ways, but I think just to... Yeah, in a very concise format, like the stakes just aren't there. Yeah. And that I think that kind of sums up my feelings about One Punch Man right now, just watching the anime, and this season as a whole, where like at the end of One Punch Man season 1, I just felt like there was a lot of electric potential, where the series had a really strong identity, where it was like, this is a show about this supernatural character who is playing with the idea of what a superhero story can be. Whereas this season, with all of the elements that they've introduced, I feel like they've kind of muddled that identity. I don't feel like its character in general as strong, because it's trying to do so many different things. And I think as a result, it just feels a little bit more generic, and like, I'm still having a decent time with it, but I'm not like excited about it. I'm not jazzed. I'm not like, oh my God, can you believe that happened? Or anything. It's just that the energy isn't there in the same way.
Yeah. That's a pretty good point. Honestly, at this point, I feel like season 3
is all or nothing.
It needs, well, that's not, I mean, it's like, I don't know if necessarily all nothing. They definitely need to pick and choose what they want to focus on. Like it needs to benefit from, it would greatly benefit from larger focus on fewer plot points. So like fewer threads, fewer characters, because we had so much stuff that was just kind of like feels at this point tossed away this season. Yeah. They might call back to them, but like that trick's not going to work again. Oh, remember my mask? Yeah. Oh, he's like staying at the top of A rank to make sure only certain heroes can ever go past S. Like, what's that payoff?
Oh, like, my mask.
Like, at this point, unless it's like part of some grand plot line in season 3, I don't care. Don't waste another moment on that.
Totally. And that's
like stuff like that. Like, stop that.
And that stuff is the worst, Damiani, because like I feel like I have a lot of patience, but like at this point now, when the My Mask reveal happens, I'm just gonna be like,
Finally.
you waited too long,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
finally, and that's the
Yeah.
worst
Exactly.
feeling
Exactly.
ever, dude.
Maximum
Nothing
agreement.
is worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is exactly the point that I'm at, where I'm like, well, I guess you did do it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of that. The whole like, when we're getting to things, once we get to things, what we do with them, it just all feels a little bit out of whack. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I hope they take their time. I hope they don't feel like they need to rush, especially if from maybe some of the negative perception of this season. I think the sudden urge is like, we gotta prove ourselves. We gotta like go again really quick and like, you know, bigger, better. It's like, no, maybe you should step back, read what the manga has planned for like the next season. I have not touched the manga, so I don't know if this is true.
Sure.
Have they ever decided to focus more on certain aspects of the story to make it more appealing based on like kind of criticism leveraged against the manga volumes, or has it always been pretty much exactly faithful to the manga and there's certain parts are better than the other? Because I remember season 2 getting a lot of criticism for Attack on Titan, and then season 3 felt like a big turnaround.
So I didn't.
Yeah.
So I watched season 1 and 2, and then I read a bunch of the manga after that.
Okay.
So I didn't watch season 3, but I watched the season 2 anime before I read the stuff that season 2 covered, and just based off my recollection, I feel like the show did a pretty good job of capturing the pacing of the manga and focusing on the things that part of the story wanted to focus on.
Okay.
So
Obviously, when you have source material that's ahead of you, it's
Right.
you could see some of the criticism against it. It's
Yeah.
good to, maybe we could tweak some stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe this wasn't such a strong idea. Maybe we can just cut that out altogether for the anime adaptation. And I hope,
yeah,
because obviously everyone says like, yeah, the it's catching up. One Punch Man, I guess, is almost caught up to where it is, or did catch up. I'm not sure, chat.
One Punch Man?
How close is One Punch Man to like the manga chapters / webcomic?
I thought we were, like,
it can't be that far. I
way
thought you were telling
behind.
me. I thought chat was telling us the last episode, but they have stuff to still work with and go off of. So hopefully they know what works best, and they stick to that and they have more focus. Honestly,
yeah. Damiani, thinking about it some more. There was a shocking moment in season 2 where I was like, oh wow, that was really jarring, but it was exactly like that in the manga. It was just as jarring.
okay.
But I do remember now that I'm thinking about it, in season 2 there were definitely episodes where I'm like, oh, not much happened that episode, or it felt like it could have moved faster. But it's interesting, I think, and what's tripping me up is that sensation that I had every once in a while with Attack on Titan. That's how I feel about One Punch Man season 2 most of the time. And so it's just like, in comparison,
Yeah.
in my mind, Attack on Titan season 2 looks so much better just due to comparing it to One Punch Man season 2. But yeah.
I hope whoever they bring on to helm season 3 for this, has a clear vision
Yeah.
and hopefully can kind of right some things that, have drawn criticism from season 2.
Yeah.
And I hope they get a chance to either work with a different studio, because obviously this show thrives when it has like that talent behind it. But it's not just the studio. Like when they have that excellent creative team, the potential and the heights it reached in season 1, it can definitely hit that again.
Yeah.
It's just, will the people who back this want to put in that type of investment to get it there, or are they okay with this being kind of like a mediocre, middle of the road, adaptation going forward? Why would they waste their time with that if they're going to do that?
How was the reception?
To season 2?
Yeah,
Not
like,
good.
Like
Yeah.
not like
No.
unanimous.
Not good.
Unanimous.
I mean, I would say
Average at
overall,
best.
overall, it
Yeah.
has not been favorable.
Dang.
Yeah.
Have they commented at all, or are they just?
I don't know if they've said
Not-
anything in the past month, because
Yeah.
it ended a month ago. We're
Yeah.
behind. But as I see people in chat pointing out, there's still a lot of support for the manga, like the story and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
panels.
So
of
the
manga
brand is
are
still
really
strong.
good, and that's, I think, what stems from a lot of the disappointment, because people know how good season 2 could have been if they had a different team behind it that could have adapted it better. Like, we kept hearing about the metal bat fight scene as being one of the best illustrated things in the manga for season 2, and it came off as really trashy, honestly, in the anime. It was not nearly as good as the stuff we pulled up and saw. I was like, whoa, wow, that does not look anything like what we saw.
Man, it sucks so much because kind of what you're saying, in the right hands and in the new season, this ship could totally turn around. I think what's just so weird is One Punch Man kind of pierced through all of the noise. I mean, there's so many ongoing series, there's so many new series, there's so much anime happening all the time, and One Punch Man reached a level of like appeal that you don't get to see that often. It happens every once in a while, but it just felt like it had kind of the world in the palm of its hands. And with the anime specifically, it just seems like now it's just nothing. Like it's just like lost so much of that. And I'm not saying that it can't get it back, but it is disappointing to kind of see how things have progressed.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty difficult, honestly, no matter what they do. And honestly, like, that was a great point, because just like, I think similar kind of like parallel, like Attack on Titan's first season, just breakout. Came out of nowhere. Holy crap, this is a big deal.
Right.
It's very hard to achieve that.
Yeah, I'm usually on the outside looking in on anime, and from what I picked up, My Hero, Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, Zeitgeist, just huge.
Yeah.
For sure. And I feel like you have a small window of opportunity to capitalize on that. Like, Attack on Titan, the reason I give One Punch Man a chance, because same thing had happened with Attack on Titan. Season 2 came out well after, was not very well received. People were like, oh, well, Attack on Titan's cooled off now. Like, it's, you know, who knows what its future going to hold. Season 3 was like, oh, wait, so far from what I've seen, turned it around, and reception's been pretty positive to Season 3, to the point of, it's not quite where it was. I don't think it was ever going to get back to its Season 1 levels of hype, but, like, it has a strong interest, and it returned back to a quality anime. And One Punch Man, I think, is never going to be back to what it was for Season 1 with its breakout, but it could still finish out and have, like, a conclusion and end up being viewed as a quality series.
Yeah, Damiani, I think that is a good point that you bring up. It's just, from my perspective, comparing the season 2s of Attack on Titan and One Punch Man, it's not the same. Like, I feel like there's more of a fall here than there was with Attack on Titan. Not that like, I agree with you, and I think, like, saying, like, hey, you know, people, the excitement around Attack on Titan has picked up even more dramatically, especially with the third season, but I just feel like the apathy around One Punch Man and the anime now, like, from my perspective, Attack on Titan never reached this level.
Yeah.
So
I feel this is going to be a much steeper mountain for them to climb over to get back. And honestly, I would not be surprised if they just turn around and say, like, hey, you know, this is it. Like, it's not getting renewed for Season 3. You know, the manga will finish, the webcomics will finish out, you know, and you can take it. And maybe a few years they revisit it or something, but, like, they might just be like, let's walk away from this for a bit. You never know.
You never know.
Unless we missed something. Sorry, chat, if they actually confirmed if Season 3 is happening. Yeah, apathy for this. But yeah, like, I'm trying to think of it, if there was ever another series that, like, had such a low point and then turned it around like this. And honestly, I can't think of one, especially in anime. I really can't think of one. Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It just feels like such a competitive space right now, where it's like. Yeah. You know, My Hero Academia Season 4 is around the corner, and like, has really just gotten more hype, and, like, it just feels huge, and the awareness of it just keeps growing, and it's like, well, I don't know. It's like, I feel like if you make a misstep like this, it's not like people are waiting around for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what I mean. It's like they have other things to occupy their time with.
It's become such a fast-paced medium now. It's
exactly.
insanity. Like, the fact how fast they move from season to season. Like, a show just picks up, like, it's like, here's the end of this is the end of the fall season. Then, like, the very next week, we're on winter. I'm like, holy, there's, like, no break. Yeah. It's just continuous nonstop.
Do you guys prefer seasonal stuff, or like a Naruto situation where it just never ends?
I think you've asked this before.
Ongoing.
I'm seasonal. I love seasonal, so you can take a break, and because there's, as Ben was saying, there's so many shows that, and when there are a lot of good ones, I don't want to have to watch like a long ongoing, especially like a shonen type thing, and then try and watch like one or two other shows. Like when they're kind of like rotational like that, like, oh, My Hero will be back in this fall. I'm gonna watch that, and then like after that, maybe next year, Attack on Titan season 4. Like I'll watch that. It's like I like that. I like having something to look forward to and know it has a beginning and an end, and I can walk away from it and take a bit of a break.
I think when you have something, that's giant and ongoing, the problem that I run into is like, if you're experiencing it as it's happening and you hit a low point, or it goes in a direction that doesn't really like speak to the parts of the thing that you love in the best possible way, it's hard to know if it's like, is it just going to be this now? Yeah. Or is it, so it's like kind of nice waiting until after the fact and being like, oh, okay, it's just like, this is a down point, but then it picks up again. I think that kind of can give you some confidence where if it's seasonal, it's like, it's short and this is it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. But I think there are huge benefits to both, because when you have something that is big and ongoing like that, the potential for your attachment to those characters is just so much more, because you get to spend obviously years with them.
Yeah, I feel like the breaks are, like, it's kind of hard. Maybe with One Punch now, it's not gonna be hard to come back when season 3 comes, but like something that just keeps ongoing. I guess I always have my foot in it, so I guess my foot is always in Boruto,
that
even when it
creates more distance for you.
Yeah, so now like One Punch Man's over, and it's like, I don't know, it's gonna be hard to like get that fire burning again, I guess. I don't know.
I see.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and like, I guess this is brutal to say, but if that fire doesn't ignite for One Punch Man again, like, I've made peace with it. And because it's not like
there's a clean break now.
It's not like back in the day with anime, and where it's just like, there's not that much available based on my situation. You know, it's like, this is what Blockbuster has, this is what Toonami has. Like, I hope this is really good. Yeah. Kind of putting a lot of my eggs in this basket. Yeah. It's not like
Vampire Hunter like, D, dude. This is all we got.
Right. It's like I can go on. I can go on Crunchyroll or Netflix or Hulu, and it's like I literally have hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I
thousands of episodes.
If the fire does not ignite again, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have way too much to watch nowadays. Like you can't watch it all even if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Nope. I feel like I feel bad saying this, but I feel like in my mind it's already made up that if there is a season 3 of One Punch Man, I'm gonna wait for it to finish airing and then watch it binge.
Sure.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Why don't we watch the first episode together and then decide? How about that?
I don't know. I feel like, as we just argued, I feel like there's gonna be like better candidates if we ever come back to this again. Like, I don't think we need, like, if One Punch Man season 3 is phenomenal and they say, oh, we're gonna be making a season 4, then then maybe we go back to it. Like, it's okay if we miss the season. I think after what happened, it's time
echo there are probably better candidates.
Yes. Yeah, they're definitely better candidates for that. I think at this point, I know we talked a lot about One Punch Man and some other stuff, but to not end on like such a downer, there's positives to look forward to. Like,
should we score? Should we score it?
Oh, you want to score it?
I want to score it.
Okay.
I want a brief recapping of season 2.
What is our like
1 to 10?
1 to 10.
Out of a 10?
No decimals.
0.5 scale.
0.5s.
I think you got like a 5 out of 10, just straight up.
5 out of 10?
I think that was like. Wow. I was like 6 out of 10. No, 5 out of 10.
It's like
very quickly went to that. Yeah.
It's like at that average to mediocre, like just slightly below average.
Okay.
Yeah, I was average. Yeah. Speak with your heart.
Yeah. I don't watch as much anime as you guys. I love anime.
Yeah.
I wanted really, really badly to give it a 7. I was so close to swimming in 7s. But I think honestly at the end of the day I'm just close to it. So I'm like 6.5.
Sinking in 6s.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like we were close to swimming in 7s, but just like then I think of the Metal Bat arc and I'm just like, I think of all like the dropped plot lines. Like,
Yeah,
So,
it's just like there were like definitely 2 really bad episodes. There were 2 very distinct low points out of 10 episodes.
There was definitely one episode where I was like,
yeah,
what?
It's like episode 3 or something. I was like, I'm out. Like I'm worried if we don't have a major turnaround in episode 4. I think we might be bailing on this. This is not good. But I mean, there's still very good moments with the writing. I think the writing saved it.
It had its moments.
I feel like some of the new character developments helped it out a lot. But again, it just suffered way too much from fight scenes just not reaching their full potential because of the being held back by the animation. A lot of like just new elements introduced that did not go anywhere that we're complaining about. And then even as some points I said the writing was a strength, there were moments where the writing actually wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And it was mostly on throwaway side characters. Like
Yeah.
this is like their point. Like they just need to figure out how to like focus on their best parts.
Yeah.
Like
Like, it's
Yeah.
really weird, right? They set all that stuff up, and it's like, this is what you do when you know you have, like, multiple seasons down the road, you know? And it's like, all this stuff is fine if it's being paid off, like, in next season or a season after, and it's like, you know, looking back retrospectively on the whole series as a whole, but, like, when you don't know if you have another season planned, like, why are you wasting valuable minutes?
Yeah.
That's such a good point, Hubert.
Like the butterfly, the whole thing, like, and just all that. Like, I get it, but like I get it for One Punch Man as a whole. I get all those plot lines they did, but like for the isolated season, it didn't connect, and that really hurt this season. Maybe not the show as a whole, years from now, but like the season hurt.
I think, Damiani, the way that you were describing it, where it was like, I really liked this, but then I didn't like this. Exactly. And if you go and you watch all of the episodes of It's Easy to Like Anime, that's basically how the Discord went, where it was like, hey, this week, this was really good. And then the next week it was like, all that good stuff they did, they like went in the exact opposite direction. And so it really just felt like we were getting nowhere. And it's a show that it's like, I didn't hate it. I'm not going to like warn my kids, don't watch One Punch Man season 2. I don't feel that strongly about it, but I also just kind of feel nothing. It is like it's I'm not angry that I watched it, but I'm not taking anything away from it either.
Yeah.
And I think with any media, whether it's games or anime or movies or whatever it is, I like to like take a piece of it with me, being like, that was that one thing about that thing that I consumed that really stuck with me, that really resonated with me, that made me think about something. And I don't have anything to take away from this season.
I have nothing.
Good
I
point.
have nothing.
Like the inconsistency, like that the one word buzzword, inconsistent is this season.
Yeah.
And I feel like that the development team or the creative team should have, calling it a video game now, development team, geez. Creative team should have definitely planned to play to their strengths a little bit better. Should have recognized I had a huge uphill battle with the changing of the guard for this season, and just had a better game plan for it. And maybe that this is the best they could have done. Like, you know, I'd have not. It'd be cool to see some behind the scenes stuff of this season if it ever comes out, but it doesn't feel like it at this point. Like, I would not believe you at first glance saying this is the best we could have done. I'm like, really? I don't know. I'm gonna need a little bit more convincing to just taking you at face value for that, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, good scores all around. But I don't want to end on like like a
bring us up
down. Oh, like I want to look to the future. Like as we said, there's plenty of other great series out there. We're all pretty excited about My Hero next season. That show has been very good. The definition of consistent, very good. And
I'm not quite caught up yet, but just shout out to JoJo season 5. Just because.
Did that just come out or something?
No.
JoJo?
No, it says the season 5 of JoJo has been going for a while, but it's 39 episodes, so it's fairly lengthy.
Got it.
What I mean is, it just has been going on for a while, and the reason why I bring it up is just the sheer creativity, like the situation that they're in right now. And I won't get into spoilers, but I guess to just speak about it in generalities, it's like we talk about stakes, and I feel like JoJo in season 5 in particular is going, and all of them really are going out of their way to put characters in dangers in ways that you could never imagine. It's like a crazy person thought of this. Like, the ideas are just brimming with so much creativity that it's fun to watch them unfold, because you have literally no idea what's going to happen, because anything can happen. And that creates a lot of excitement, and because they keep finding new ways to do it, you don't feel like it's ever spinning its wheels or running out of energy. And so just shout out to that. I really haven't gotten to talk about season 5 too much, but you know, if we want to end on a positive note, I have some good stuff to say about the season.
For sure. And there's always the chance that you have like another breakout show. It feels like every few years we get something like that. I mean, something like a kill, just going out of nowhere, just being like, here we go, this is it, it's done. You know, nice show like that. Like, always nice to get treats like that.
Definitely.
And who's to say, you know, what might be like the next one of that, you know, and maybe, you know, next season, next year, something we'll all be talking about.
Yeah.
Some brand new anime show that's came out of nowhere and wowed everybody again.
Totally.
And like, love to see that happen.
Vinland Saga, it's on my radar. I'm gonna watch it because I read some of that manga.
I was gonna ask you about that, Huber. You've been
sent
getting
me-
a lot of requests for that.
Chat sent me that manga a while back, and it was so good. I cannot believe there's an anime now. 100%, I'm gonna watch it. Don't worry, I'm gonna watch it.
Dude, Main and Best Season 2 when I'm with you, dude.
But I really want to catch up to My Hero with you guys, man.
Yeah, it's just so good. Like, it's, you know, 3 seasons in at this point, and it's like, yeah, it's totally worth that time commitment.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah,
it's
it,
really
it
good.
flies
Yeah,
by,
it's
Huber.
really
I
good.
loved every second I watched. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I just fell
Huber,
out.
and it's like a lot of shows nowadays, I feel, fall into the trap of they feel the necessity, the need to end every episode on a cliffhanger or some kind of twist. My Hero does definitely do that, but
The old Dragon Ball Z vibe.
But it is in a way that I felt like it never got grating. Whereas, like, there are other shows, like even live action shows I'm watching now on like Netflix stuff that do that, and it feels like out of left field. Like, this whole episode is about X, and then at the end, Y pops up that way out of nowhere, and like we got to deal with that next episode. Like, wait, what? I hate that about that.
Yeah.
My Hero doesn't really do that. It's like something that feels natural, and I love that about that. And so
Excellent.
it will make you want to binge watch that. So like it'll go by so fast.
Huber, let me put it to you this way. When I was very young,
Yeah.
like, one of the most exciting, if not the most hyped I've ever been in my life,
Super Saiyan.
was Goku turning Super Saiyan and the culmination of the villain that Frieza was, and how just the hype around it, like this crumbling planet, just the anger, the screams, everything.
Krillin is dead.
It was like a visceral rush seeing it. That was ages ago. I was a child.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia
dying.
has moments that made me feel that way.
So sick.
Where, like, you know, much older in my life, I feel that excitement, that cheering. Like, it's just, when you describe My Hero Academia on paper and it's like, yeah, there's superheroes in school, it sounds like really boring and lame, but these characters are just so relatable. There's so many emotions that it's, I'm giddy just I haven't really thought about My Hero in a while, and like,
When is it?
now,
When's the new season?
October.
October,
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait.
October.
I really can't wait.
A lot of good shows always
It
come out.
delivers, man. It really does.
And there's also a really great catalog of stuff that exists already. Like, I know a bunch of us are going through it at different times now.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter.
Like, that was just, that was, for me, I think it was like, it was Kyle. Like, Kyle pushing so hard.
It's like his
for
favorite
that.
show of all time.
I think I'm just
Yeah.
talking about like current thing. Not that Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, I'm saying, like, there's best of both. There's always
Yeah,
going to be new
right.
stuff, but like, we were talking about how much anime there is.
Dip into the
Right.
well.
There's you're always going to find something you missed. There's gonna be
wishing well of
something you have not
darkness.
seen.
Yeah.
And you know, it's always great to go back and see like something like even something as like in
Definitely.
your face and mainstream as Dragon Ball. It's
Definitely.
like,
Dude,
yo,
Boruto just had like a Kakashi arc, dude. That's the world we live in when we're still getting Kakashi arcs in 2019.
Hubert, there's an episode in season 3 of My Hero Academia that like I feel like I would just, if we did it, it's easy to like anime of that episode. I'd just be like, I can't speak. Like no words can justify what just happened. Like, yeah, so good,
So
so
sick.
good.
Yeah, I know. We hear you, chat. So, yeah, this is the last episode for obviously for One Punch Man season 2.
Absolute pleasure just being able to talk, being able to step into the anime world with you guys, honestly, is like a dream. You too, chat. Just being able to talk anime, I don't usually get to, because I really only watch Naruto. So, you know, despite One Punch Man being not quite a 7 out of 10, it was still incredibly fun doing this with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I just wanted to say that.
We will keep all of you updated on our Patreon. I'll let you know what the future holds for when we might come back and get together to do something like this again.
I think just to be extra clear, oh, dummy, I didn't notice you were trying to shake my hand. I'm sorry. I didn't
I stole that handshake.
Huber stole it from me.
Yeah, I stole it. My bad. I thought he was going double on me. I was like, I'll do double.
I was like, getting ready to make eye contact with Ben, and Huber just goes, yo, I want more handshakes here. I was like, thanks. I was like, okay, Huber, fine.
I love both of you.
Huber, take it easy, Huber. Huber just wants too many shakes.
Anyway, just trying to be explicit. I think the answer is like we don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's not like we have an immediate plan.
For sure, we don't. Very good point. We got to make that clear. Yeah. We don't have anything planned definitively yet. Also, a lot of logistics that go into this. Just one, we didn't pick like the greatest time, but also getting people invested in watching. As we said, Ben and I believe are caught up on My Hero, but I think most everyone else, maybe Kyle's caught up. Maybe?
Kyle's got to be
or close.
Caught up or really close.
But this is the question: like, who's caught up? Who wants to put in that time to catch up? The longer a series has run, the more investment someone's got to put in to catch up on that.
Right. And
it is a tall order. So, yeah, that's why we can't say like we're definitively doing My Hero in October when it comes back. It's something we'll look into. Like, there's definitely an interest there, but can't promise it just yet. So we'll have to see what's up when we know what the simulcast schedule is going to be for it, and see if we have 3 of us down. And again, always down for having more than 3 people if they want to do it and stuff. Yep. But at the same time, if someone else like has a changing interest, it's always possible that we could like rotate someone in here. Like maybe it's like Kyle, Huber, and Ben are just like the 3 most passionate about My Hero. It's like, sure, if Kyle wants to like helmet or something, or whoever wants to do it, they can totally step in and like fill in a role for that and stuff. Like, we will have to see. Those are all some of the many moving pieces that go into this and stuff. So we will keep you updated on Patreon. That's the best place to follow, and look out for updates on when we'll be bringing this back. I feel good that at some point we will, just nothing concrete yet.
Yeah, and I think just to like crystallize what the show is, this is something that we do because, like, I think there are a lot of other things that are taking priority, right? Like, anime is not the focus of Easy Allies. It can't be. We don't really have the capacity.
It's the focus of our hearts.
Yeah, we don't really have the capacity, I think, to do it in like a big way, and that's something that we've learned. But we're covering video games like pretty much as constantly as we can be. And we all have our own shows and different obligations that we're doing. And so it's something that we enjoy doing, and we want to do more of it. But this is the capacity that we're doing it in. So I don't want to create we're not going to be, always watching the hypest show of the season, or in the case of One Punch Man Season 2, watching a show that's remotely close to the hypest thing of the season, or it's not something that we're going to be doing constantly. It's just something that we're doing when we can because we enjoy doing it. Yeah. And it's fun. And it's fun.
Very good point.
Like, I want to catch up My Hero. It's not that I don't want to, it's just time.
Yeah, so, and we understand that. Yeah. There's not this huge burden on you like you have to.
Such a good point, because we literally could have 5 of us who want to do My Hero, but let's say with us 3 doing reviews and stuff, like if a deluge of games comes in all at once and stuff and disrupts our schedule,
October is
straight up that just takes priority.
Like literally what we saw, the number one thing I take about this is like the lack of consistency, because we've had to adapt to other things take priority over the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the unfortunate byproduct of just trying to be weekly. Whereas if we'd waited to do all binge watch this after every episode was out and just did a spoiler mode, probably would have went over a little bit more. It would have been a little bit more consistent. It would have been something we could have scheduled out, planned for, and delivered on time. Whereas this was kind of up in the air from week to week and stuff like that. And I understand it's frustrating when you have to, as you, the viewer, and you as patrons, having to wait for that communication, or learning day of, we learn sometimes ourselves, oh, there's some other stuff that takes priority, you're gonna have to get bumped back to the end of the evening. It's oof, a little rough, but we'll see. Well, a lot of things that have to be looked over and thought about for that. So yeah, good stuff though.
Good stuff. Thank you, Huber and Damiani, man, for doing this.
Yeah, sorry I didn't ask for questions this episode. It was just after Easy Living, and I forgot to, we're finished. I was so excited telling everyone, we're finishing this on Tuesday, about, finishing this fight here, Hugo.
Yeah.
And I forgot to make my bad. I forgot to make the patron post.
You were too excited.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we don't have any questions, but we went a little long. Good recap here. We gave you a final score, everything like that. And again, patreon.com/easyallies. If you don't know who we are, that's how we're supported. That's how we make this show, all of our game coverage that you hopefully get to check out and enjoy as well. And it's where we will update you going forward on the future of this show, or potentially future spoiler modes, another show we do, which covers where we dive into a movie or an entire show all at once. Everything is fair game spoiler wise, hence the name. That is a show for our $1 and up patrons. It's a patron exclusive show. Never know, we might do an anime film or an anime series for that at some point in the future. We've come really close a few times. We've come very close a few times to making it happen. One of these days we're going to pull the trigger and do an anime spoiler mode for something. But yeah, I have to actually get up to take us out here. So I'm going to wave goodbye for now. And until next time, then.
What? I don't even... I'm blanking. Yo, yeah, Dad! I just had a brain fart.